Seniors, this chicken habit is quietly causing leg cramps. Every night you wake up at 2 a.m., your leg is frozen, your toes curl without warning, a deep, sharp pain locks your calf, it takes your breath, it steals your sleep, and no one told you it could be the chicken you ate. Yes, chicken, not all of it, but a part you trust, a part that feels like comfort, but quietly disrupts your muscles, and when muscles don't relax, they scream, they tighten, they cramp, and they rob you of rest. In this video, we're going to walk through how one small habit, the way you eat chicken, might be making your cramps worse, not better, and more importantly, what to do instead. Let's begin. Your muscles are incredible machines, silent, strong, always ready to move when you ask them to. But like any machine, they need balance. Not too much tension, not too much slack, just the right rhythm between contraction and relaxation. And that rhythm? It depends on tiny minerals inside your body. Electrolytes, especially potassium and magnesium. Potassium is like a conductor. It tells your muscles when to squeeze and when to release. When you have enough potassium, your legs move easily. Your fingers stay nimble. Your heart beats steadily. But when potassium drops too low, or when sodium floods your system, that balance is lost. Muscles cramp, tighten, lock. All because a whisper of chemistry inside you shifted just a little too far. Magnesium plays its own quiet song. It soothes, it calms, it helps your muscles relax after they contract. Without enough magnesium, muscles can get stuck, frozen halfway between work and rest. That's when cramps creep in, often at night, often when you least expect them. As we age, holding on to these minerals gets harder. Kidneys become a little less efficient. Absorption in the gut slows down. Medications, even common ones for blood pressure, can deplete magnesium and potassium quietly over time. You might eat enough, you might drink enough, but still the balance tips, and your legs tell you, not with words, but with tightness, with cramping, with restless nights and hesitant steps. It's not just about numbers, it's about circulation too, because blood carries these minerals where they're needed. And after 60, circulation isn't always as swift or as strong. Blood vessels lose flexibility. Veins have to work harder. Oxygen and nutrients reach muscles a little slower, which means even a small imbalance, a little too much sodium, a little too little potassium, hits harder than it did decades ago. It's a delicate dance, and food is one of the best ways to guide it back into rhythm. Natural foods, whole foods, foods rich in the minerals your legs need to move freely again. But there's a catch, because not all healthy foods help, and sometimes foods we trust, like certain parts of the chicken, can quietly work against us. Not intentionally, not obviously, but enough to matter, enough to turn an ordinary day into a day of stiff steps and sudden cramps. In the next batch, we'll take a closer look at the part of the chicken that may be tipping this balance the wrong way. It's a simple thing, a small thing, but when you see it clearly, you can make a small change that leads to real relief. Let's keep walking forward, together. Let's talk about chicken. Not chicken as a whole, but a specific part of it. The part many people love. The part that feels rich, tender, flavorful. The dark meat, drumsticks, thighs, and especially the skin. When we think of chicken, we often picture a healthy meal, lean, simple, good for the heart, and in many ways it can be. But the dark parts of the chicken carry something extra, more fat, more sodium, more hidden risks. Dark meat, by its nature, contains more fat than white meat. Fat isn't always bad. In moderation, healthy fats are vital. But when combined with the skin, especially when seasoned, brined, or fried, the sodium content climbs much higher than you realize. Sodium isn't just what you shake out of a salt shaker, it's packed into the very structure of seasoned meats, into marinades, into the way poultry is processed. And the skin, it acts like a sponge, soaking up salt, holding onto it, delivering it in rich, satisfying bites. For an aging body, this extra sodium can be a heavy load. It pushes more fluid into your blood vessels, raises blood pressure, stresses your circulation, and in your legs, where circulation already struggles after 60, that added pressure can trigger trouble. Less oxygen reaching the muscles, more swelling around the ankles, more stress on the tiny capillaries that feed your calves and feet, and yes, more cramps. Because sodium throws off the delicate balance between potassium, magnesium, and muscle function. Tip that balance too far, and muscles contract when they should relax. Lock when they should move. It's not immediate. You don't eat a piece of dark chicken and cramp within minutes. It builds slowly, meal after meal, day after day, a slow tide rising, until one night your leg seizes in the dark and you wonder why. Most seniors don't think about it. They eat drumsticks at family cookouts, roast thighs for Sunday dinner, nibble chicken skin from holiday plates. It feels like comfort. It tastes like memory. But quietly, the body keeps score. Quietly, circulation struggles. Quietly, minerals fall out of balance. Quietly, cramps creep closer. This doesn't mean you must give up chicken. Far from it. Chicken can still be a wonderful part of a strong, nourishing diet. But knowing which parts serve you and which parts ask too much of your body is powerful. It lets you choose meals that support your legs, not sabotage them. It lets you walk into each day with a little more strength, a little more steadiness, a little more trust in your own 2 feet. In the next batch, we'll meet someone who learned this the hard way, someone who changed one small habit and found a new freedom in every step. Because change doesn't have to be overwhelming. Sometimes it's as simple as what's on your plate. Her name was Margaret, 73 years old, sharp-minded, full of warmth, still fiercely independent. She loved her routines. Morning coffee at the kitchen table, afternoon strolls around the garden, Sunday dinners with her children and grandchildren, and she loved her food, especially chicken, roast chicken, fried chicken, chicken casseroles passed down through generations. And always, always, she kept the skin on. Crispy, golden, delicious. Margaret didn't think twice about it. She'd eaten chicken this way her whole life. It was comforting. It was familiar. But over the past year, something had changed. The cramps started slowly. A twinge in her calf at night. A sudden tightening behind her knee after sitting at church. A stiff, painful cramp that woke her from deep sleep. At first, she laughed it off. "I'm just getting older," she told her daughter. But the cramps grew worse, longer, sharper, more frequent. And they weren't just at night anymore. They followed her into the daytime. She began avoiding long walks. She hesitated on the stairs. She sat more often than she stood. The fear crept in. What if I fall? What if I can't get back up? Her doctor ran tests. Everything looked mostly normal. Blood pressure a little high, circulation a little sluggish. Nothing dramatic. nothing urgent. But when Margaret mentioned her cramps, her doctor asked one quiet question. "Tell me about your diet." Margaret smiled. "I eat healthy," she said. "Mostly chicken, vegetables, fruit." But then she described her favorite meals, her crispy drumsticks, her juicy thighs, the golden skin she loved so much. And the doctor smiled back kindly. "Maybe we should take a closer look at that." Margaret learned that day about sodium, about how dark meat and skin carry more than just flavor, about how too much salt can strain tired circulation, tip muscle balance, trigger cramps. It wasn't the whole problem, but it was part of it, a part she could change. And so she did. Slowly, gently. She switched to white meat, baked chicken breast without the skin. She seasoned with herbs and lemon instead of salt. She added more potassium-rich foods, a banana in the morning, a baked potato for dinner. She made sure to drink a little more water each day. No huge dramatic shifts, just small, steady choices, one plate at a time. And after a few weeks, something shifted. The cramps eased, not gone entirely, but softer, less frequent, less scary. She walked a little further around her garden. She climbed her front steps without gripping the rail so tightly. She slept through the night without jolting awake. Margaret didn't feel young again, but she felt strong, capable, more herself. And it all started with noticing, with choosing differently, with trusting that small changes still matter, even after 73 beautiful years. In the next batch, we'll talk about those small changes in more detail, what Margaret did, and what you can do too, to turn a plate of food into a quiet kind of medicine for your legs, your balance, and your peace. Margaret's story reminds us, relief doesn't always come from a prescription. Sometimes it comes from a plate, from a small decision made again and again, until it becomes strength you can feel in your very bones. The first shift Margaret made was choosing white meat over dark, chicken breast instead of drumsticks, grilled, baked, or roasted gently, no heavy sauces, no brining in salt, no crispy skin trapping hidden sodium, just clean, simple protein, the kind that feeds muscles without stressing the heart, the kind that helps legs stay steady, joints stay flexible, energy stay consistent throughout the day. She learned to leave the skin behind. At first, it felt strange, a little sad. The crispy golden layer had been part of her comfort for so long. But with each meal, she discovered a new kind of comfort. The comfort of easier mornings. The comfort of legs that didn't seize when she least expected. The comfort of moving through her day without bracing for pain. Margaret also paid closer attention to her hydration. Because water isn't just for cooling down, it's the river that carries minerals, potassium, magnesium, to the muscles that need them. She began sipping throughout the day, not waiting until she felt thirsty. A glass at breakfast, a cup with lunch, a few sips before heading outside to tend her flowers. Not in a rush, not in a flood. Just steady, consistent support. Like watering a garden. Like feeding the roots that hold her upright. And she invited more potassium and magnesium into her meals. Gently, easily. A banana in the morning. A handful of spinach tossed into her omelet. A baked potato with dinner, skin and all. Almonds for a snack. Yogurt with a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. Tiny shifts. Delicious shifts. Shifts that whispered healing into her muscles with every bite. No complicated diets, no rigid rules, just listening, just responding with care. Because food is not just fuel, Food is language, a conversation between you and your body. And when you speak kindly, your body listens. It responds, sometimes with less pain, sometimes with easier steps, sometimes with a confidence that blooms quietly over time. So if you find yourself waking up at night with a cramp, pausing too often during a walk, rubbing your legs after sitting too long, maybe it's not just getting older. Maybe it's an invitation to change your plate, to hydrate your journey, to nourish the parts of you still hungry for strength. In the final batch, we'll tie all of this together. We'll walk through the beauty of small changes, the hope they bring, and the freedom still waiting for you in every strong, steady step. Because small changes can lead to big relief. You deserve that relief. You deserve to move through life with strength and with joy. Imagine this. The sun is warm on your shoulders. The sidewalk stretches out before you. The park is filled with the sound of birds, the laughter of children in the distance. And your legs? They move with quiet confidence, step by step. Sure, strong, steady. You walk without fear, without hesitation, without the shadow of cramps waiting to steal your comfort. You pause by a blooming garden. You lean down, slowly, easily, to smell the flowers. No sudden tightness, no sharp pulling pain, just you in your body, fully present, fully capable. Later you take the stairs, one step then another. No gripping the railing in fear, no breath held tight in your chest. You move as you were meant to move, freely, joyfully. And maybe later, your grandchild races ahead on the trail, laughing, daring you to catch them, and you smile because you can. Maybe not as fast as years ago, but fast enough, strong enough, present enough to live this moment fully. All of this freedom, this peace, this joy, begins with the smallest choices. Choosing a piece of chicken breast instead of a drumstick, leaving the skin aside, drinking a glass of water before you get thirsty, adding a few more leafy greens to your plate, tiny acts of kindness to yourself, tiny acts of hope for your tomorrow. Because small changes can bring big relief. They can turn restless nights into peaceful sleep. They can turn hesitant steps into steady strides. They can turn fear into freedom. You don't have to change everything overnight. You don't have to chase perfection. You just have to start. One meal, one sip, one step, today. Thank you for being here with us, for trusting us to walk beside you, for believing, even just a little, that your strongest days might still be ahead. If this video gave you hope, please subscribe to Strong Senior Health. We are a growing community of people who choose strength, who choose movement, who choose life. Leave a comment below. Tell us how you're taking care of your legs today. Tell us what small change you're making, and if you know someone who could use a little more strength, a little more freedom, share this video with them, because together we are not just aging, we are thriving, we are moving forward, we are walking into every sunrise with hope, strong legs, strong spirit, strong life, and it all begins with what you choose to do today.